Hello there, welcome to Module 1 of our How to Start a Garden course. I'm so glad you joined us. Today we're going to be showing you how to start seeds. Now, some of you may not be ready to start your garden from seed, and that's absolutely okay. But let me take a moment and make the case for starting your plants from seeds. Starting your plants from seeds just really gives you a sense of accomplishment because you've nurtured and babied that plant from start to finish. It also gives you the ability to grow plants that you don't often find at your local Home Depot or Lowe's or garden center. Things that are a little bit more rare, heirlooms, different varieties that are a little less known and you're not going to see at the grocery store. And that's part of the fun of starting your own garden, is you get to grow things that you don't normally get to buy at the store. So starting your own seeds, it can seem pretty scary, but really it's not. And you just need some seed starting soil. I'm actually going to use compost. I've had pretty good success with this and I really like what it does. And then you're going to need pots, and it doesn't have to be your traditional, pony pack looking pot. It can be a yogurt container with holes poked in the bottom. It does not matter. And you're just going to fill these up just like this. If you are starting with seed starting soil, it's important you make sure it's for seeds and not just a potting mix. There is a difference. And I like to use only organic things. So this, again, is organic, well-rotted compost, which is newer. You do not want to use something that's fresh because that will burn your seeds and just mess you over. And you're just going to fill it to the top of the rungs and gently smooth it over. Okay, so here comes what you're going to plant in these. We've gotten all of our pony packs filled, and now I've got some seeds over here, and there's some important terms that you're going to want to know as you're starting seeds. And seed depth is going to be one of them. Now, seed depth just is pretty straightforward. And the back of your seed packs usually tell you how deep to plant the seeds. Things like lettuce are going to be sown up very low in the soil. Things like onions and even Chinese cabbages can often be surface sown. That way you just sow them on the top of your soil. These have got to be direct sown. And you just gently press them into the soil and then water, and then you just leave them. Other things like tomatoes and squash and zucchini, while they can be direct sown, they can also be put in pony packs. They just need to be put deeper than you'd put something like a lettuce seed because they're much so larger. And a good rule of thumb is however big that seed is how deep in the soil it goes. So if it's very small, it goes very, very shallowly in the soil. And if it's something like a pumpkin seed, it's going to need to go much deeper. So we're going to start with some cabbage. And cabbage seeds are kind of small, so we're not going to do these very deep. So I like to take 2 seeds per pot and just very shallowly put it in there and smooth the soil over. And if you're going to direct sow in your garden, the same rule applies. You just want to do the same thing. And keep going until you have however many plants of the variety or the type of vegetable or herb that you're going to grow. The amount that you want to grow is completely up to you. Just decide what your end goals are and go from there. And if you get more than 1 or 2 seeds in there, it's no big deal. You do not have to go in there and dig them all out. I mean, you can if you want to, but you do not have to. Just like that. And if you're going to do multiple varieties, it's always best to mark the pots as you go. That way you don't lose track of what you're planting, and things like popsicle sticks or the store will sell plant tags that you can use to mark your seedlings. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Okay, so our flat of veggie cabbage are planted, and this is ready to go out in our greenhouse. If you don't have a greenhouse, a sunny window, a warm sheltered spot, you can grow vegetables in your garage under a grow light. It doesn't matter how you do it. There's no right or wrong way. If you're starting really small and you're just going to garden on your patio, it's totally fine to use solo cups in your window. We've done it before. It's no big deal. We have expanded our garden exponentially over the years, so we actually have a greenhouse that we're going to be using to start our seeds. But if you don't have that, a window, just a warm spot in your house will work just as well. You can also cover this with saran wrap, and that will help to lock in some of the moisture and help your plants to sprout a little faster. Totally not necessary. You don't want to do that, don't do it. As for watering, you're going to want to keep your soil moist as your seeds sprout. That is super, super important. You do not want to flood them, but you want your soil to remain moist so that your seeds sprout. You can water them from beneath by putting them in a tub of water, or you can water them by hose or even a watering can. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're not washing out your seeds. The smaller your seed art is, the more gentle you want to be. For really small seeds, I actually like to water them from beneath if I'm not direct sowing them. If I'm direct sowing them, I'll even turn the handheld nozzle for our hose on mist and water them that way. That way I'm not worrying about if I'm going to wash anything out, especially with my carrot seeds. And that's it. Your seedlings are going to need quite a bit of sunlight and warmth while they're getting established. And then in the next module, we're going to show you how to move your plants out into your garden. We'll be right then.